Hello everyone. We're going to take a few minutes here and go over how to complete the Vistage QBR template. As you open the file, you'll come to this first tab, which is the QBR. There are a number of tabs, but I'm going to start on the Instructions tab. On the Instructions tab, there is an overall discussion of what to do. Then there's a brief description of the QBR charts and ratios tabs. Bottom line is, and overall, I guess, any black text or numbers or formulas, the idea here is you should not and do not want to change them. Whereas blank light blue cells and blue text numbers are where you want to enter your data. For example, on the Inputs tab, you will see these various light blue shaded cells. This is where you can enter data. Pretend your company name is ABC Company. You'll enter it here, hit enter. You'll notice it's still blue text, so you can change it, but the light blue cell goes away. There are only 3 tabs that you need to complete to make the entire model work. The Financials tab, the Budget tab, and the Inputs tab. In just a moment, I'll go over each of them. I do want to note that all the tabs are protected, which means they've been protected from changing, and it's not an input. This has been done just to protect the integrity of the spreadsheet. However, there is no password. All you need to do in order to unprotect the sheet is go to the Review tab of Excel and click Unprotect Sheet. That alone will take care of it, and you'll be able to edit the cells if you need to. Okay, so let's go ahead and fill out the tabs. I recommend filling out the Inputs tab first. On the Inputs tab, there are a number of blue cells that should be very familiar to you from previous Vistage QBR templates. You want to complete your name. Putting it here will spread it throughout the entire document. A very important cell to make sure you update each time you submit a QBR is the period of time that is the last date of actuals. We're currently getting ready to go through 2016 quarter 2, so we've chosen Q2 2016. This is important because it identifies whether a quarter is a closed or actual quarter versus an estimate or forecasted quarter. Make sure you have this right, and it's probably the first thing you should enter or change when completing a QBR. Recommend having the preparer fill in this cell and the date it was prepared for historical records. This first QBR using this tool, we are not expecting anyone to actually have metrics, but if you do have metrics for your company that you want to track, you can put a metric name in here and then a metric short name to make it fit on a chart. The next 3 areas, though, you should fill out. You should have your key strategic initiatives, which is a common requirement for QBRs, as well as your self-limiting belief. Enter it here, and it will show up on the QBR itself. Finally, up to 5 notes about your financials that you want to bring to the attention of the group. You can have this blank, fill out 1, 2, up to 5, your choice. This sheet should take you only a few moments to complete. The next tab I recommend that you have complete or complete is the Budget tab. The Budget tab is basically an income statement, summary, along with a balance sheet, and if you have them, metrics. And you'll see light blue cells. You need to fill them in historically. If you see the fact that everything is a budget, you enter this data once and it should not change. If you had a budget for 2015, enter it here. If, and I do want to make sure I highlight if you had a budget for 2015 for the balance sheet, enter it here. If you did not, feel free to enter actuals in for 2015 or leave it blank. Either way, you will be fine. For 2016, our current year, we expect you to have a budget for your income statement. Again, you may not have a balance sheet budget. If you do not, leave it blank. However, we do recommend that going forward, you start to plan budgeting for your key balance sheet items. Finally, very few of you will have a budget for 2017 yet. You can leave this blank or plug in numbers that you want to target for 2017. Again, it's really up to you. Leaving the 2017 budget numbers blank and or the 2015 numbers, budget numbers blank will not cause any problems within the spreadsheet. Final tab to complete are the financials. You'll note that there is a slight color scheme change at the top. Actuals are numbers that have been from previously closed quarters, whereas forecasts are the numbers you plan to perform going forward. By choosing Q2 2016 on the Inputs tab, these heading colors change. What you need to enter in at least one time now is your 2015 results by quarter for income statement, balance sheet, and again, if you have them, metrics. Please don't wear the metrics if you don't have anything you're tracking at this time. And then for 2016, you're going to fill in the actuals for Q1 and Q2. Moving forward, when we go to use this template for Q3 2016, all these actuals will stay the same, so you shouldn't have to ever re-enter them. You then have a forecast section. Feel free to use this as you see fit. Notice that I want to make sure you understand that a forecast is not a budget. The budget is determined at the beginning of a period or beginning of a year. A forecast is what you actually expect in fact occur for your business. Budgets in the first quarter of a year may match your forecast, but by the time we're halfway through the year, you have a better view of where you might end up as far as revenue, as far as cost of goods sold, sales, general administrative expenses, and so forth. Complete it out. You do not have to, for this QBR, complete the forecast for 2017. But again, if you like to, feel free. I'll be doing it, and most will as you get better at forecasting. The idea is to see where you're going to end up next year. Start looking forward. To the right of these charts, you will see a series of columns that are blank until you fill in your previous data. What this will give you are numbers to use for forecasting. It will tell you what was your quarterly average revenue in 2015, or sales, general administrative, cost of goods sold, or SG&A. What's your quarterly average for 2016, year to date? What about the 12 last rolling months? This information does not flow into your charts anywhere, but it gives you some additional data points for which to help you plan and forecast. Once you've completed the forecast, you're done. That's it for inputs as far as this model goes. What you can then do is start looking at your resultant charts and outputs. I'm going to go in reverse order just so you can see them. The ratios, depending on what data you completed on your financials and budget, will give you various various growth factors as well as various balance sheet ratios. There's a definition of each of these ratios at the bottom to help you understand what they're trying to tell you. The goal is to start reviewing these in the future. If you do not have anything in here or don't feel comfortable with them, that's not a problem. It's QBR. We have two sets of charts. I'm going to go to the dashboard chart. The dashboard chart summarizes your income statement, accounting, actuals and forecasts versus budget, your balance sheets as far as assets go, your balance sheets as far as liabilities go, and metrics if you have them. The one thing that's unique about these charts is once you make entries into the financials, budget, and input tabs, you do need to click the refresh charts button here. Clicking refresh will just update these charts with any additional information that you have put in. Once you've clicked on this tab or on the full charts tab, it works for everything. Finally, we'll review the slicers, which are these highlighted colored inputs on the right-hand side, but feel free to play with them. What these will do will change the data sets that you have. For example, if you only wanted to see your 2016 numbers, you could unclick 2015 and 2017, and the charts would show, once you completed them, your 2016 results. Unclear the filter, and you're in good shape. You can't break these charts. You can't hurt them. You can only have fun with them. All right. The full charts are just a little more detail on the income statement, balance sheet for assets, and balance sheet for liabilities. This will give you numbers in a linear format. The actual values will be here below, and you can actually see how revenue has changed over time. Again, if you refresh charts in the previous tab, you're fine, or you can refresh them here. You can refresh them again. Not going to cause a problem. You have slicers here to look at what categories you want to review and or time periods. Finally, there's the QBR, which should look very familiar to everyone. It will bring in your actual data for 2016, for Q1 and Q2, forecast information if you complete it, and it forecasts 2016 as a whole. If you complete the budget numbers will populate in here. You'll see your variances. And if you populated 2015 actuals, you'll see your variances against last year. You'll actually get two variance numbers here, 2016 versus budget, 2016 versus 2015. And again, the balance sheet items are here if they're completed, as well as metrics. And at the bottom, you'll see our standard historical, what are your three key strategic initiatives, what's your self-limiting belief, and any notes that you entered in will be here. One last note, the financials, we really recommend that you put them in thousands, so don't put in full numbers. If you've got $1 million in revenue, put in 1,000 here. It makes it much easier to read on charts and in the summary tables. That's really it. If you have any questions, you know how to reach out to Matt McKelvey, and he'll be able to help you with anything you might have to deal with. Looking forward to seeing your results for Q2 2016.